woke up early anyways, and Bear's looking deader and deader.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let's start because I want to hear about this. So, welcome, welcome to the Narnar and Friends show. Bear is dead. You heard it here first.
No, it's
What's
looking.
going on with
They,
Bear?
they need to tune it. So right now it's doing like season 1.9 damage on PTR, and the tier set for a Balloon Bear just got demolished even more because it had
Yeah,
an
you said that
unattuned
yesterday. I
effect.
was in your chat. So, what was it? The Star Surge proc from the tier set, was that reducing Lunar Beam?
Yes, which is
Okay.
30% more health and healing received.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Lunar
actually
Beam was
really good
sick.
defensive. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the second strongest defensive you have. Uh,
Yeah.
well, now third. I always forget Survive One Stinks. That's just my oh shit, not my.
Right. Right.
This is a defensive. Um, so they now you get West Winter Beams as well, and it just
Hmm.
makes you lower damage, lower tankiness, and there's just not a lot going on right now for a Moon Bear, and they don't seem to be adjusting anything for it.
That sucks.
So Bear's been hit by
I
a few nerfs and
I
not a
love
lot of
playing
buff.
Bear. Hmm.
So I decided to look at Druid of the Claw because there's a few buffs on the Druid of the Claw side
Mm-hmm.
that'll give them some passive defensiveness, and you don't actually have to cat shift, from what I understand, in M plus
Okay.
for the damage bonus.
Yeah.
So it's probably still not going to be a competitive tank. Like Bear really wasn't super competitive this season, and
Mm-hmm.
it's looking like even with Druid of the Claw, it might not be super competitive next season. But for the right team or comp, it'll probably work out.
Okay. Yeah, I always thought Druid of the Claw looked really cool. Like I would try to cook up like a Tooth of the Claw, Raise, Fury of the not Fury of the Sleeper. It's the one where your Raise and Thrash gives you like an absorb. It was really good in Shadowlands.
Ursock's
Ursock's Fury, remember?
endurance,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah. Hmm.
yeah, something like that.
I
Yeah.
always wanted to play that because it's kind of fun to like do damage and then you get that shield. And if the key's really low, like that shield just would never break. It was pretty sick. But yeah, not really,
Yes.
not seeming good recently, at least. I have.
Yeah, that's actually what's in the build that I'm suspecting will have to be played is
Oh,
Ursock's endurance.
let me
There's also a
see.
chance that shifts it to mastery.
Wait, I need like 1 minute. Don't read these questions yet. Okay. All right, we're back. Okay, so I didn't really introduce you, but my notes for you so far is high keyer, streamer, and bear player. That's how I know you. Is you're streaming high bear keys. But then sometimes I tune into your stream and I feel like you're not usually playing bear. I catch you on like alt keys a lot. So I'm like, oh, I
I
thought you were a bear
do
player. But I see you on
I
like
do a
disc
bunch of alt
priest.
keys.
Yesterday you're on a brew monk. You're setting it up. Or is that just like I'm feeling bad about bear? Or do you want to play brew?
That's a Bear is looking down bad and Brew is looking up good. And
Oh,
they're
because they
both
just
discount.
got buffed, right? The fizz buff.
Yes. Not only that, their talent tree got reworked a little bit.
Oh,
So they're
really?
smoothing
Okay.
out the damage a little bit more, and they're increasing their hot healing. So like Expel Harm currently is like a single burst heal.
Okay.
Moving forward, it's going to have an option to be a hot heal
Mm-hmm.
that'll counteract stagger quite well.
Nice.
So there's a few changes on Brew that should make it a pretty powerful start for Fizz Yeah.
That's awesome. Because I this season and like recent seasons, I've really not wanted to heal brews that much. Like, and I don't heal crazy high keys. I do like whatever weeklies, but I feel like most tanks I really don't touch with healing. And then brewmaster, I have to like actually target them with stuff or like pre-shield or like penance heal them or make sure I keep my hots, which I don't mind. But it kind of just sucks when all the other tanks I feel like you just don't really touch them. You just like passively heal them, and then one of them suddenly you feel like you just have to dump HBS into.
I think the meta tanks always felt that way. That's
Mm-hmm.
part of the deciding factor, right? And like a lot of people get a misconception because they're like, oh yeah, you've got to actively heal these other tanks. But when you look at like the data and everything on those tanks, usually the tanks
Mm-hmm.
require the same amount of healing. It's just a
Hmm.
different style of healing depending on the tank. So
Interesting.
like Vengeance Demon Hunter right now, you just do a lot of atonement healing into them. There's not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of windows where you have to focus heal them. It works the same with most tanks except after tank busters go out. And when
Right.
a lot
Right.
of the tanks you're having to catch the backup.
Hmm.
Brew gets a little interesting because that just increases their stagger, and so you're trying to counteract them taking that damage over time as well.
Yeah,
But once you get more comfortable with healing those tanks, it all kind of blends together, I feel.
that makes sense. Yeah, Brew is actually the one tank I've never played in any keys at all. So it's also like, so I know the least about it. So when I'm healing them, I'm kind of like, I don't really know what they need. Whereas like I played a ton of bear, so I can kind of look at them and be like, okay, he's got this, he doesn't have this or whatever, and kind of like see what's gonna happen. Whereas I actually don't even know a ton of brew players, though I do know a few. I feel like monk is one of those classes where like people love it and they know everything about it, but there's not that many of them. Do you find that to be true? Like people that play monk are like really into monk.
I don't know. I don't interact with people about their classes too much.
Oh, really?
Even about bear. Yeah,
Huh.
like the bear Discord is always people are very passionate about what they're passionate about, and
Mm.
it doesn't necessarily translate into higher keys or lower keys. Or like some people
Hmm.
have builds for doing extra damage, some people have builds to be tankier. Like that's what I'm looking at right now is everyone who plays Druid of the Claw on logs have all
Hmm.
sorts of weird builds, and it's like I don't need a damage build. I need a build that would survive
Right.
the title keys next season.
Yeah, because they don't really. Does Ravage help you? Doesn't really give you any defense, does it? Or does it give a DR on what you hit?
It gives a 10% damage received from the mobs you're hitting. They're buffing that to
Mm.
15%.
Okay.
So that buff alone is almost a key level from Ravage.
Yeah. Okay. Not bad then. But it's not like a lunar beam. Not the same
No,
level of power. Yeah.
it is not. And
Hmm.
you're kind of waiting for Ravage procs, which means if you're going to use that for a tank buster, you're trying to ensure it's going to be up there.
Hmm.
It's going to be hard to guarantee
Oh
that it's
yeah.
doable.
Right. Whereas
Yeah,
lunar beam, you could look at it and be like, okay, lunar beam just came back. Tank buster's an 8. Let me make sure I have this to cover. Whereas like if you send your proc, you're kind of just like, let's see if I get another one before this. Yeah.
right.
That's not. Procs don't feel as good on tanks. Like it's okay on damage, obviously, because whatever. But yeah, you don't want to be hoping for a reset and not get one.
Oh yeah, tier set was rough this season.
Yeah,
If it procs, you're hoping you catch it
the tier was
to
weird.
not send your own defensive. And there's
Hmm.
a few keys that saved where like I heard the ching and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't have to send your defensive for this tank buster, but it was
Yep.
not reliable either. It was like I
Yeah, it
wish there would have been
wasn't.
cooldown reduction.
I almost that or like reset the cooldown maybe or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it either procced and you were like, oh cool, this is good, or it procced when nothing was going on. And you're like, oh, all right. I mean, this didn't really help.
Right.
I did most of my highest keys. I only got to resilient 15s on my druid, but most of them I tanked and I boomied like a couple of them. So that was kind of my. I haven't pushed in like a couple months, but that was like my main, if you want to call it, my highest score at least. So I played a little bit of bear, so I'm familiar with the cha-ching sound. But sometimes I just be like, what the fuck is this? I don't need this right now. Like proc on the next pull. I'm like running, you're running to set up a new pull and it procs at the end. You're like, all right. Um, but I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. I almost would have taken like a damage, some kind of damage buff instead, maybe.
Oh, that's the worst part is if I knew I did not need a defensive coming up, I would send Rage of the Sweeper or Winter
Mm,
Beam because the next 10 casts did another Druid spell for damage. It's like,
right.
let's just add a little bit of extra damage to this.
Yeah, nice.
So, so then I wouldn't have a defensive if I needed one in an emergency because I was like, I greeted
Mm.
damage. My bad.
Who is it? I think Zath gave me a tip from you, which was Cat Thrash out of combat, so you can farm back the Lunar Beam. Because it's like
Yes.
technically an arcane spell. That's pretty sick. A few times I remember to do that. I was like, this is a Dalgroth deck. I got this. I got my
Yes.
beam coming.
I used it a lot of times during RP.
Speaking of Zath, we have a question from Zath. How to improve when you feel you're plateauing? I don't know if you have an answer for
Oh,
him.
man. That is a rough one.
That is a rough one. Is he okay? Should we
One.
check on Zath? No, okay.
I think one of the big things is ask people for feedback. Like
Yeah.
it's a video game, and so people don't really think about that. Ask
Hmm.
people for feedback, especially if you're playing with players that you don't normally play with that might have a different perspectives.
Mm.
It might tell you something completely different than who you're normally playing with, and
Mm.
it might cause you to look at things a different way, a different style, and start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
Hmm.
Because like for me, I've got like a 5-man team that I run with regularly, but then I've got a couple other teams that invite me to run with them from time to time, and
Hmm.
each team has their own like different expectations on what a tank will do and how
Right.
they do it, and it's also different comp. So
Hmm.
you kind of get a different perspective each time you ask those other teams, like, "Hey, what would you like to see differently?" Like some
Yeah.
teams will tell me you need to chain way faster, and some will tell me you chain way too fast. Uh,
Hmm.
and then staying in combat's another one that I do a lot, like especially with Eye of Kazan. And some teams want to try to game that, and other teams are like, I wish we would just drop combat. So figuring
Right.
out like balancing around the other classes, balancing around the other players, and even on the like high end R1 keys, if you watch closely, you'll see each team has kind of their own style. It's
Hmm.
not all the same exact style. So I think really getting feedback to kind of push you out of your comfort zone is the best way to stop plateauing.
Yeah. That's good. I like it. Let's see. We got praise question. Oh man, I have so many bear questions. I just would love to get his thoughts on the general state of bear, the ups and downs, and where it's headed. Big fan of bear, generally its strengths and weaknesses.
And this is, yeah, it's running towards more weaknesses, sadly. Uh,
No, unfortunate.
right now, after you settle in a big pool, like its strongest strength is that you settle and you're kind of tanky for the rest of that pool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it suffers the same thing that most tanks do, which is just it's a little weaker on gathers, but it's not like considerably weaker than any of the other tanks. Necrotic Wake was a great example of that. A lot of people thought you had to send a defensive when you started doing the gather on the first pull. The truth was you needed to mangle one mob, and then you'd have a stack of iron for it to do the whole pull. So you didn't
Hmm.
send a defensive until you settled, and then once you
Right,
settle, you
right,
get all your stacks of thrash damage reduction on everything. You were good to go.
right.
Uh, its greatest weakness is probably its prio damage and its single target damage.
Hmm.
Like it does really good AOE damage, but when you're looking at bosses and even mini bosses where you're trying to get more prio damage on those mobs, you just don't have it on bear, which
Hmm.
means certain classes can rip threat on the prio target a little bit easier, as well as you're spending extra time on bosses where a lot of times what just helps with meta tanks is you're getting that boss damage in there. And so the DPS classes are a little bit hattier, if you will, on the trash pools, which speeds up the trash pools because you're making up for it on boss pools.
Right. That makes sense. How do you feel they? Because I know some tanks are like not good against magic damage or bleeds or dots. I feel like bear's a little weak against magic damage, or is that not true anymore? Because you can kind of
Uh,
tank melees. Like once you got a few furs going, and you got a frenzied regen every now and then.
so, so they did the rework where you got a little bit of magic damage reduction based on your iron for stacks as well.
Oh, okay.
But the truth is, Bear's always been kind of just a big meatball and just
Mm-hmm.
it's a punching bag. So, like,
Yeah.
yes, the magic damage hurts, but it's somewhat like a blood decay. You take the huge hit, especially with Lunar Beam. So you take this huge hit for like 20 million damage, for example, and then you just hit Frenzied Regen. And Frenzied Regen during Lunar Beam is almost away on hands. Like, if you watch closely, almost
Yeah.
every time I proc that 90-second Frenzied Regen, I'm instantly topped on full on health. And
Yeah. The well
so,
honed like cheat death kind of thing.
yes,
Yeah, that's pretty
yes.
huge.
So a lot of people kind of like, yes, we're weak against magic, but we also have this giant health pool compared to all the other tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And so you live the hit, you just have to heal it back afterwards.
Yeah.
And
That's
Winter Beam really fills that gap.
mm-hmm. That's something I added to my party frames this season was tracking the lunar beam like buff on my tank, so I could see like how long it is. And it's nice because with good bears, you'll actually see like, okay, there's 2 seconds left on beam, 1 second. Okay, now he pressed bark, and you always kind of like roll something. Versus if you look at the party frame and you're like, all right, he's got one stack of fur and everything's on cooldown. Like, all right, maybe we paint sub him here, or throw a vortex. Maybe he's gonna run. I don't know, but
Oh
it
no,
is
I don't
nice.
want you. I don't want you
No,
critiquing my gameplay now.
no, no, not you. I mean, I haven't healed you before,
That's
but just in
definitely
general, like an
missing you
LFG or
do.
whatever. Um, no, it's cool because I wasn't tracking it, and then I realized I'm like when I was playing bear, I was like, oh, this is like a sick button, and you have it up so much that really it's almost like you press it so often, and then the gaps I would try to fill in. Though a lot of the times I would just bark or wall on pole if I was scared. Like I learned pretty early on when I was tanking in Cinderbrew. I walked in, I had like a fur, and I got like, I swear, maybe not literally 100 to 0, but like within less than a second, I was just dead to those little droplets in the second boss room, like right where the boss
Oh yeah.
spawns. I just
Yeah.
walked in there like doo 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 doo, thrash, and just fucking died. Everyone's like, "What just happened? Did you leave bear form?" I'm like, dude, I don't know. And then we looked. I was like, no, I just walked in bear form and fucking got owned by like a droplet. It was wild. So then from then on, I was like, I'm going in with wall. I'm pressing incarn, pre-frenzied region, whatever. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that usually is the play.
got to do
Start it with
something.
Mark Skin and then
Yeah,
cycle through Winter Beams.
yeah, that's fun. Okay, so then Christian piggybacked. Wait, wrong one. Remove, add, bam. What Prey said, and what changes would he do to make bear stronger, where it's weakest or in the talent tree? Also, what is his favorite bear playstyle, the current laser bear or the fizz bear, given the tuning is perfect on both sides? I don't know if the tuning's perfect on both sides or what he meant by that, but
Well,
oh,
so
oh, if the tuning was perfect, which one would you prefer? I think is what he meant.
okay. I think to make Bear stronger, you really need to give it more single target damage.
Hmm.
Like Thorn's Iron makes it really rough to try to spend rage on anywhere else because one, that's tankiness and damage, but it's
Yeah.
just there's no prio. So they really just need to like buff Mangle's damage and auto attack damage, which they're probably not going to do auto attack damage. That'd be weird.
Hmm.
But really,
Yeah,
if you're
that would
trying to
be
give more
strange.
prio damage, more single target without giving more AoE, it's just Mangle and
Yeah.
possibly Moonfire. Like Moonfire
Mm-hmm.
hits 2 targets with Galactic Guardian, so seeing some buff to those 2 spells would probably help considerably.
Hmm.
Um, there's also a few talents that would just be really nice. Like there's a Moonfire talent that reduces damage by 5%, but you can't really take it with any of the free spaces.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember if
If
I take that
Tune,
one. I don't think I do. I think I take the leech one, the arcane damage leech.
yes,
That
yeah,
one's nice.
no one takes the Moonfire reduces the damage the target deals to you by 5%.
Yeah.
It's just it's super low on the tree, and it's too valuable a spot to give up different talent points for it.
Makes sense.
Uh, if tuning was perfect on both sides, I think I would probably prefer Druid of the Claw. It just
Mm.
fits the class a little bit more. Like
Yeah, I
if you're
think
a
so.
bear, I don't know about all this calling down arcane fire from the heavens, really.
Right, right.
It just so on the flip side, it is nice to have some magical tanks versus just all physical damage tanks. But again, the only tank that could really benefit from that is Vengeance Demon Hunter because they're the ones with Chaos Brand. And
Right.
it's really hard to work in like a Havoc with a better comp.
Mm-hmm. And you're not going to benefit from like a mage, obviously, because you don't have intellect. So there's really nothing else to buff it, right? Other than Chaos Brand, maybe. I guess.
Yeah. So it's a weird mix, right? Like it's still
Mm-hmm.
like 50-50 on damage profile. So even then, if you bring in a Havoc, you're only getting 1.5% damage. So it's like you're better off with a
Oh, right.
warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Huh.
like they should lean more into the arcane damage if they go that angle, and
Mm-hmm.
that way they're opening up the comp to be more aggressive towards like, okay, maybe there is this other magical side of tanking
Mm-hmm.
versus Vengeance Demon Hunter. I think is the next highest magic damage, and then Paladin, and Vengeance Demon Hunter brings that buff, and Paladin again you kind of don't benefit super great from bringing Havoc. I think
Mm.
that's always been kind of one of the issues with the comps and why you don't see Havoc come up that often is they're not going to buff a lot of classes outside of casters, and then
Mm-hmm.
you kind of want that Vengeance Demon Hunter for the utility.
Right, right. Yeah, Vengeance is like crazy. Do you think it'll be meta again next season? I feel like it's been meta forever. Like for a very long time.
Blizzard does a really good job of ensuring usually that something's not meta 2 seasons in a row. The
Right.
only time they skipped on that was that Faded season 4. So there's, and that's
Oh yeah,
part
you're
of the
right.
other
Because season
reason.
one was Prop Paladin, right? Or was it a mix? I don't
Right.
remember.
Season 1, I believe, This season, the War Within was
Yeah,
Prop
yeah.
Paladin.
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha. In my head, I was thinking it's been Vengeance the whole time, but you're right. So it was like Vengeance, then that bonus season, so it felt like longer, but that season was kind of
right.
fake. And then okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, so it went Bear, Vengeance,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Prop Pally, back to Vengeance, and even the Bear season was only like half Bear because of Augie being released.
Right.
So, and now that Augie's out of the picture again, I think they can have an easier time forcing some of the other tanks into it.
Hmm.
I almost feel like the Mystic Touch was the buff to it was kind of some kind of weird play on making Ellie Shaman more viable with Brewmaster as well, because Ellie Shaman does some physical damage, and so they're going to get a
Oh, is
buff
there
out of it.
Earthquake?
Yes.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
they may be looking at some of the raid buffs together, and it might
Interesting.
have unintended effects, but like Ellie Shaman's uncapped.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is gonna benefit quite well from 8% damage increase. Even though like Fury Warrior is going to benefit the most from 8%, Fury Warrior only hits 5 targets. So when you're looking at some of those other meta comps higher end, you're really looking at a lot of uncapped classes. And then they
Yeah.
just capped Unholy a bit more as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have some kind of team. It's hard to give Blizzard that kind of credit, but they
Yeah.
might have some kind
It's
of
a little
team saying,
diabolical.
what can we
Right.
force into a meta comp that'll work that's like
Hmm.
a different play?
Interesting. Yeah, I
Because
forgot they have physical damage, Earthquake. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and
The
Ellie
elemental.
buffs yeah, and Ellie
And you
buffs
give
Outlaw really
mastery.
well
Okay.
because of the 2% attack as well. Yeah, mastery and 2% attack. So
Oh,
Ellie
yeah, yeah,
buff
okay.
yeah, so Sky Fury is currently a better buff for Outlaw than
Mm.
the 5% damage buff for Mystic Touch.
Wow.
So
So it could be
suddenly like
Brewmaster, Rogue, Ellie. Well, what about
Feral
Enhance? Is Enhance a lot of magic dam?
enhances also a lot of magic damage. Yeah. It
Wow.
could be enhanced as well, but again, they're going to benefit by that buff being buffed as well. They'll benefit more from it, but you kind of want to have a balance of ranged and melee.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do a ranged caster, Ellie has a really short cast.
Hmm.
So then you're just looking at what's the other melee or healer. And it's very, you want Druid in one of those spots, probably.
Right. I
Though
really like playing with shamans. I love their interrupt is so good. The
it
like
is
melee, the
when
best melee kick that's also ranged for some reason. It's
when
like
they use it,
perfect.
I played
True.
Ellie and I was not good at using it. I
Oh
was like, no, I'm
no.
casting a spell right now.
True. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, yeah, I've been the last couple of days I've been playing Destrolock randomly. I decided to gear it up. I started at like 590 and now I'm like 650. And your pet can kick while you're casting. I don't know if you know this, but
Yes.
that's crazy. It feels so good. You're casting like a long ass chaos bolt and then you just send your pet like, "Hey, go get that guy." And you just boop. I don't know. I just remember that.
Yes.
It's
No, it's
good.
really good axe throw, I believe it is called.
Oh yeah, for demo. I playing Destro though. I forget. I think
Oh
it's just like
yeah. Yeah, it
Spelllock
is
or
different.
something. It's that little Fell Hunter pet guy. It's like a little dog. It's pretty cute,
Yeah.
honestly. Destro's pretty sick. Uh, let's
That
see.
is a nice touch.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry. We got Dumpy. Any thoughts on how threat should work in Modern M Plus? I'm not a tank main, but off rolling to VDH feels so goddamn bad trying to keep threat on pull. You could just play bear, right?
I don't know. It can be difficult on any any tank. Uh, Honestly, it comes down to kind of the key level. Lower
Mm.
keys, people think they have to hit their buttons right away to get like good damage numbers, and they pull threat right away.
Mm-hmm.
Higher keys, and you'll see it on R1 keys even. You'll see like the DPS wait like 5 to 8 seconds before they start DPS, and they wait until the whole gather's done.
Yeah.
Because if the tank is pulling in 4 packs and you send your CDs when the first pack is targeted, you're not getting anything on the next 3 packs because your CD's
Right.
halfway over by the time the gather's done. So VDH is, I it's well, there's tricks that you can use on tanks that a lot of people don't know. So VDH, their Infernal Strike does
Mm-hmm.
extra threat, a considerable amount of threat, and so you can actually use a macro to just leap it yourself.
Oh, that's
And
their leap.
general,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
and just landing on the mobs will give you considerable amounts of threat on
Oh,
the
that's pretty
pool as
cool.
well.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then I don't know if this bug's ever been fixed. If you Sigil Flamed outside of combat, those mobs got Havoc Demon Hunter threat. But if you Sigil Flamed while they
Oh.
were in combat, they got Vengeance Demon Hunter threat. Yeah.
Oh my god. I thought it just didn't work for some reason, but I didn't realize it was havoc threat. That's like for some reason more offensive. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
So I was a terrorist in Dragonflight on my
Uh-huh.
Resto Druid because of
Okay.
Belleros. And so it'd be really
Oh.
fun to screw with tanks. If you shifted into bear form and you used Belleros, it did 400% threat.
What the fuck?
So you would just, it was like an AoE taunt as Resto Druid.
Right, right.
So I would just do that to my friends randomly. And one
Oh
of my
my
friends,
god.
after like a bracken hide, he had lost threat on like 10 different pulls on everything. He's like, what is happening? I'm like, you're just bad at threat. One of my other friends is like, no, he's screwing with you.
The bear
He
form
knows what he's
trinket is
doing.
insane. That's hilarious actually. Dude, the threat modifier on bear for non-guardian is really annoying. Cause I learned that on Boomy, like if I rip threat on something,
Yes.
sometimes I would stamp roar, which puts me in bear to like get away, and then like vortex to try to keep him there. But by me going bear form with all my starfalls going, I would just get more threat. I'm like, shit, I had threat on one guy, and then I go bear form to live, and I have the whole pull is chasing me. So I like, so you kind of, I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna disengage, and he'll just taunt the guy. It's fine. Um, yeah, that threat modifier is weird, but that's hilarious. Go bear form Belorlos AoE taunt. Hey, it's an external if your tank needs help. Just kite the pole.
Yeah, no, it was just terrorism. That's all it was.
That's hilarious. It's the new
Uh,
force of nature, treants. Just taunt the pack.
yeah, I mean, back to the question, though, I do think that
Mm.
it really is. You just kind of have to figure out the niche and who you're going to lose threat with and how you're
Mm.
going to lose threat to them the most frequent. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's as simple as placing yourself between them and the mobs and doing like
Mm-hmm.
Chaos Nova, for example, on VDH, give you a little bit more time to pull threat back.
Oh, true.
So
Yeah.
you gave a good example. If it's a druid and that they know they're going to pull threat off of you, a lot of times you don't need vortex for that pull. They can
Mm-hmm.
vortex the pull, you can chains it. There's several things you can do to try to CC the group that
Mm-hmm.
makes them take like 3 to 4 more seconds to get to the mobs or the
For sure.
players rather to let you establish threat.
Yeah. The other thing I've noticed is like the better players that I've played with, if I'm tanking, they understand like if you have threat on a mob, and I try to do this too when I'm DPSing, like it's not really an emergency. Like you don't need to run out to like out of the key. Like sometimes you'll be tanking like a low key and someone will have threat on one like mob that just melees and they'll just run like completely. It's like, dude, just blink to the other side of me and I'll thrash them. Like it's okay. But
Yeah.
if you run all the way out, like, okay, I'm not generating any threat on that. And so I'll like have to wild charge root it, because like my taunt's on CD from something else. But something I've noticed about like players that kind of have a better understanding of how threat works is like just because you have threat, especially if it's just mobs that melee, like little shitters, that's actually kind of it's almost better because then they're not hitting me and I'll get threat back before they reach you anyway, as long as you're not running like completely out of the pull.
Yeah.
So I think when he tanks, it's mostly for our rat alts doing 12s. So a lot of us are just doing random shit to not help him, maybe. Uh, but yeah.
There's
All right,
also
those
a
are.
hidden
Mhm.
mechanic with threat that a lot of people don't know. It's if you're in melee range, the mobs have 110% threat,
Oh yeah,
or it's a modifier, and if you're at range, it's 90%. And I
nice.
think my favorite one with that was back in Everbloom when the bees would dash out and sting someone, they'd get meleeed,
Oh yeah,
and people were always like, "Oh, it's a bug, it's a bug." And it's like, no, no. What happened was you were far enough away
yeah.
that they flew out and
The
stung you,
modifier is flipped
and
in your
then
favor.
the melee
Yeah.
timer was gapped enough because usually if you were within like 10 yards of them, they also
Right.
wouldn't melee. Like they meleeed right before they flew out to sting, and it would put their
Mm-hmm.
melee on cooldown for like an extra second and a half. But if
Right.
they flew a second to you, their melee was back up.
Oh my god. So they're
So there was
because
like
now
a
they're in
bunch of
melee of that player, so they have more threat, and
yeah,
they're far from the tank, so they have less threat, and their melee's available. Yeah,
right.
that's like the
So
perfect
people just
storm.
yeah, people just thought it was a bug, and it's like no, you actually did like this perfect equation to get it back its melee while it was out there on you.
Oh my god, that sucks. That's
Yeah.
funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Everbloom was nuts. It was a good pad dungeon. Actually, no, I kind of hated it. Now that I'm remembering, I was playing Og. You remember that third boss? It was either were there four bosses in there? One, two. No, there was four. So the third boss, it had a mechanic that would only spawn on ranged, and a few times, I think it's that orb, right? It's like an
The
orb that
orb,
detonates.
yeah.
So there was a few times, very rarely was I the only ranged while playing Og, but there's at least twice, and I had to like add a specific timer just for this mechanic. I would be breathing over to hit the boss with my breath, and I would just spawn the bomb on top of everyone. They're like, "What the fuck, dude? What is going on? Why are you breathing over?" I'm like, "Dude, I gotta hit the boss." So then I had to specifically be like, "All right, I cannot breath." Man, that was stressful. It was a fun time, man. What's
I'm
your
sure there were
favorite?
times where you're like, I should breath. Just
Yeah,
terrorize
my
your
weak aura
friends.
is telling me like, "Hey, everyone's in cooldowns. We lusted, but don't fucking breath." I'm like, okay. Um, did you like Everbloom? Speaking of
Everbloom
Everbloom,
was
do you
just
remember it?
yeah,
That's what it
it
was.
was just yeah. Like it had weird glitches too. Like if you when the tree boss picked up a prop Howie, if they bubbled, uh, it wouldn't bubble taunt. It z-axis the taunt or something. I don't know what
Wait,
happened
what?
there.
Are we talking about
Yeah,
Darkheart? Maybe Darkheart Thicket.
no, Everbloom, the first boss, Witherbark or whatever his name was,
Oh, he would
he
pick
would
up the
pick up the
tank. I don't
tank.
remember.
There was a weird interaction where if you bubble taunted, he wouldn't taunt to you, and he'd
Z-axis
just
the
kill a
tank.
player. Yeah,
That's crazy.
maybe it wasn't a pick up the tank. I could have sworn he picked up. I don't know.
He did something. I remember that being a
It
thing
was
in
that first
Darkheart,
boss.
though. Okay, I got you. Something else
Yeah,
then.
it's probably so.
Gotcha.
There's just like there's glitches, and there was the one flower that always evade walked when you pulled it. Like it
Oh,
was guaranteed. Yeah, it was stuck behind some roots from one of the trees, so it would evade walk. So those are the things I remember from Everboom. It's like, oh
right.
man, they
Specific
couldn't
pain
fix
points.
all season long. They couldn't fix these little issues. So like that was just a garbage dungeon.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, so we covered Discord questions in the intro. Now, a few life questions. Where did you grow up? Are you
Oh
from
man,
America?
I am from America. I grew up in Colorado.
Oh, no way. Okay.
So yeah,
That's cool. I've never been there, but I've heard good things. It's very chill, right?
people probably lied to you. Don't move here.
No?
It affects the real estate. We were one of the first states that legalized weed, so we got a lot of influx. It skyrocketed the cost of living and everything.
Oh, shit.
It's
Okay.
it's all right. There's a lot of different larger cities that have different personalities. So
Hmm.
like Boulder has a very different personality than Denver, and
Okay.
so yeah, it fits a lot of lifestyles. But there's a lot of Denverites that don't like Boulderites, vice versa.
Oh,
So
shit. Huh.
it's a
That's
different
cool.
environment.
Gotcha. What do you do for fun outside of WoW? Do you have any extracurricular hobbies?
Uh,
Do you
I used to
crochet?
work. I used to work out, but
Yeah.
with the summer, it's just a little harder to work out. It's too hot. And
Right.
then now I kick it with my dog a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That
Wait, I
he's
know his
actually
name. Shit. I don't remember it. I used to know it. It's not. Oh, Spec, right?
yes.
Okay. I recalled that. I don't have it on another monitor. I remember.
Yeah.
Is it Spec because of like WoW Spec or is it something else?
No, so in not literature, but like in a lot of storytelling, uh the like different versions of ghosts have different
Mm.
associations, and a specter is usually associated with like a darker colored ghost. And
Oh,
since
okay.
he's all black, I named him Spectre.
That's cute.
But when I rescued him, I was working out of state for 3 months. So I had a friend that watched him all the time, and she
Mm-hmm.
just abbreviated it to Spec. And
Oh,
he responds to both. But now when it's Spectre, he knows he's in trouble. Since when it's just Spec,
Right.
he
His
knows it's a
government
good
name.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cute. Oh,
So
I love that. I love dogs. How long have you had them for?
8 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I can't have any pets because I'm in an apartment where I can't have pets, but I'm going to be babysitting 4 cats next month for one of my family members. They're going on vacation, so I'm going to have a bunch of fucking cats running around. It'll be fun, though. It's fun for like a little bit. I wouldn't want 4 cats for myself permanently, but
yeah.
you know.
4 is a bit extreme in my opinion.
You don't want the animals to outnumber you too much, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Cats
they
are
all
cool.
want a certain amount of attention.
Right.
And it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
'Cause
My
they start
sister,
terrorizing.
she like fostered kittens, and then she took in the mom cat too, and then no one wanted the mom cat. And then finally someone adopted it, but it like beat the shit out of one of their other pets. Like not horribly, but it would just like constantly like, you know, cats like punch things. It wasn't scratching. It was just like, just fucking socking people in the face. So they gave it back. But in the meantime, she had adopted 2 more. So now she has 4. It's becoming a problem. She's becoming a cat lady. But yeah, so I'll have some cats soon.
But I just got a new roommate and he's got a cat.
Mm.
And that cat, yeah, it's been 8 days and that cat will not come out of the room if my dog's inside. But the second my dog is outside, it'll come out and explore the house. And my dog just wants nothing to do but play with it.
Right.
The downside is he doesn't know proper verbal tones for play. So like when I take him to the dog park, he would actually growl at other dogs, but not like an angry growl. It was like a playful growl.
Yeah, right.
But to a cat, it's not going to sound that way. And then
a
like
giant dog growling.
Then he's got a very aggressive sounding bark. Oh. And like my roommate's been my roommate before. Mm-hmm. And so he knows the different barks of like when my dog's upset versus when my dog is like, hey, I want something. And he's like, oh, he's barking that I want something. I'm like, that's not what the cat's hearing, I'm betting.
Yeah, the cat's hearing, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Damn. So you got some pet dynamics going on. I think the cat will warm up. Usually cats are a little weird at first, but eventually they become friends, I think. Maybe.
Oh, they're getting close. They'll get within like a foot of each other, but then my dog will start barking. Okay. The cat will stay there, and my dog will just continue barking while wagging his tail, and I'm like, dude, that's not going to cause the cat to close that 1 foot distance, man.
Yeah, right. Oh. Do you have any favorite music artists? I know in your stream you listen to a lot of like the same music as me, like a lot of like dance music and stuff. Are you into? Is that like a stream thing? Or are you really into EDM, or do you have any favorite genres or bands or artists or anything?
I listen to a lot of different music.
Yeah,
I think it's my dad's fault. Yeah, growing up, my dad used to, anytime I had a friend over, he would make them get, oh man, this is gonna age me, the CD portfolio that everyone had in their cars.
Okay.
Like, you're young enough, I don't think you know, but it used to be like basically a binder, like a school binder.
Yeah, okay.
You would have in your car full CDs.
Right.
And so anytime I had a friend over, my dad would have them go grab theirs, and he would just burn a copy of all their CDs.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty cool.
He ended up having like 9,000 CDs when I moved out of the house. God. So you just listen to a wide variety. And so like I got into that mindset of just listening to a lot of wide varieties. Actually, the craziest story with him is we were driving through an intersection on a pretty slow day, and people used to have to hook up their CD players to their tape deck in their car.
Okay.
And someone had fallen out of their car in the middle of this intersection. There's no traffic. He just stops, has me get out of the car to grab the CD. And it doesn't play. Did not play, but we take it home and it burns a copy of it. Like somehow he was able to burn a copy of it, and the copy that was burnt worked.
Wow.
And I'll always remember it was a Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is not even like something you'd expect from my dad. But he, like, the story made that stick with me. But yeah,
it's kind of fitting that you would find Rage Against the Machine like on a broken thing in the middle of the road, like that's been run over or something. Adds that vibe to it. Be different if it was like Madonna or something. Feel bad.
But yeah, so I couldn't even name an artist off the top of my head that
Yeah.
I would listen to regularly.
Okay.
Because it's just I do like a wide variety of music.
Nice. I dig it.
I will say though, the
Mhm.
dance and EDM is better to keep you awake while doing keys because sometimes,
Yeah, for stream it's good lock in.
especially
Yeah.
yeah, like 6 hours into a stream, you're doing like your 12th homework key. It's easy to check out.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like every now
I
and then, I feel bad.
usually
Someone will be doing an IO key with me, and it's like I hope they're not watching my stream because I'm petting my dog right now in this like
petting your
18.
dog, reading chat, looking around, eating some food or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I always stream with I stream with my talking let's see if I can pull it up. No, I don't have a quick keybind for it, but I have my talking bird that I use. I don't like streaming with camera. I get
yeah.
very weird. Like I get distracted, or I'm like, I don't know. I don't like being on camera too much. I do it for the podcast though, because I feel like it's like a talking show, and I'm like talking with someone, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll stream with camera sometime, but I get very like, if I'm focused on a key, in the back of my mind, I'll be like freaked out. Like, am I making some weird face or something? I don't know. You know what I mean? Do you have like a preview of yourself on, or do you just pretend it's not on and you get comfortable with it over time?
Uh, I pretty much have it covered because I have streamer mode on Discord, and then I
Mm.
do mute Discord when I talk to stream quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
So I actually have it covered most of the time.
That's good.
But I am fully aware of all the random faces I make because I will get sent pictures of the faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the one advantage to Discord and people having easy access to you on Discord is they will send you pictures of yourself when you stream
Oh
all
no.
the time.
I'm gonna get some from this episode
Uh,
now.
but I think really what sold me on doing camera
Mhm.
was early on when I was looking into streaming. There was like a few different videos that I watched about like, hey, you're getting into streaming. What's going to differentiate you? How you're going to kind of establish your brand? And one
Mhm.
of the repeating themes that people mentioned was if they can't see you, they're really just watching gameplay.
Right. It's hard to connect with
And
like
so,
someone you can't see, or just like a talking bird or something. It's
yeah,
less personal for sure.
to the VTuber advantage, because that's really what your talking bird is. At least there's some
Mhm.
kind of thing. It reacts to how you react. Like
Yeah, that's true.
there's another streamer. Hopefully it's fine. I name drop like Dalgroth, who just has like a paladin in the corner that bounces when he talks. So like it doesn't have a lot of
Hmm.
expressions, but it
Okay.
moves when he talks, and it kind of still gives you that feeling that you're interacting with a person versus
Right.
it's just gameplay that you're watching. So like
Yeah.
there's still advantages to the VTuber, but
Mhm.
I just stuck with me. And then different times it's been pretty nice. Like I've lost a lot of weight since I started streaming because I just don't go out to McDonald's or Taco Bell or anything anymore. And
Nice.
people have commented and are like, hey, dude, you're looking really good. You've lost quite a bit of weight.
That's awesome.
I used to wear a black tank top. And so like
Uh-huh.
there's a command in my stream called tattoos because I have giant
Yeah,
red
oh
stripes
yeah, I was gonna ask
all
you.
over my torso. And with no, you can't really see it anymore because I don't wear the tank top. But like people have commented on wardrobe changes. They used to comment on the like I own like 40 of those tank tops. Like I have unopened versions of them because I bought them on Black Friday. It's just like
Sure,
stored
yeah.
for when like I tear one, I throw away the torn one, and just pull out a brand new one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's little things that make you a person. And so like there are times I don't want to be on camera, and it's like I should do on camera still because like some people rely on you being there for them as a streamer. As
Mhm.
crazy as it sounds, like they're having a rough day and they could either turn on TV and watch a TV show, or they could turn on their favorite stream and just be like, hey, this is someone I know. I know more about them than like this fake TV character.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so sometimes that's all someone needs to cheer up their day. So that also makes it easier for me to like, I'll turn on the camera today.
Yeah, I love that, and that's like a very real thing. Like I don't have a lot of viewers, but like I've had people reach out and like be like, "Oh, well, thank you for streaming today. I was dealing with this," and like because I was so happy that I saw you went live, and it was like it's always times when I'm like, I kind of don't want to stream today, and then I did, and then I'll get a message like that, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so nice," and I know I mean, maybe people are just full of shit. I don't know, but like it feels nice because I'm like, oh, you're in some way you're like making someone's day a little bit better sometimes, or maybe they just want to shut their brain off and like listen to me talk shit about my friends not pressing astral shift or whatever. and it's like a nice little break from whatever they're going through. But yeah, I think that's like, I don't know. I'm glad you said that because it's very nice. I don't know.
It's very real. I used to have a different group of friends when I streamed.
Mm-hmm.
They're mostly moderators in my chat, and
Mm.
like there were times where they would get upset with regulars because they're like they think they're part of the homies and they're not part of the homies, and they're making these jokes against us. And so like at some point, I like had to very much like tell a few people like, hey, they're my friends. That doesn't make them your friends. They're not interacting with you regularly. So you
Right.
get us do like our jokes internally between like the 7 or 8 of us. That that does not give you permission to start picking on so and so in such way. And
Right.
there
It's like
was
I can
even
call
one
my friends
point,
idiots all day, but you fucking watch it. Like, yeah,
right,
because it's
right.
not
You
the
can call
same.
me an
Like,
idiot.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't call my
exactly.
friends it.
Right.
Yeah, and like
Comes off different.
I I remember my friend was power leveling me and no coup defensive. Not
Mm-hmm.
not the instance, but right next to it, there was those centaurs,
Oh, sure. Okay.
and I was gonna pick up Holy Priest for raid,
Mm.
and so he was power leveling my priest, and like a bunch of people came in and they're like, "Hey, he should power level us," and they were very entitled about it too, and
Mm.
so like we ended up having a discussion like he's doing this for me out of friendship, like just because he's
Right.
doing it doesn't mean he wants to have someone else along, like you have to respect the boundaries of like this
Yeah,
is
he's
an
not
act of
just logging
friendship,
on to
not like
boost random people.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Do you That's a good leads to one of my questions. Like, do you find people, because your stream's obviously a lot bigger than mine, but do you have people like, I don't know how to explain it. Not like entitled, but if someone like shows up in chat and wants to join your key, but you're like, this might be a little, I don't know, just like say they've only done 12s and you're doing like a 16 and they're like applying and then they get shitty if you don't invite them. Like, have you had to deal with anything like that, or how do you handle that kind of thing? Or do you just say like, fuck you, I'm not bringing you?
I have dealt with that,
Mm-hmm.
and I do try to avoid bringing them. I kind of tell a lot of people like, yeah, I'm not going to boost you 2 key levels. So like, if you're in a 16 Cinderbrew and you're like, oh, I'm good for an 18, it's like, I you might be, but you're currently in a 16. I'm not going to boost you 2 key levels to an 18.
Yeah. And it might come
Um,
at the expense of the other people that are in the group. Like, so I try to think of it like, I want to
I
respect everyone else in the group too. Like, I can't just bring random people that, I don't know. It's like you could get away with it, but it would kind of be at the cost of everyone else has to like try a little bit harder, maybe.
right, and it's not a carry stream, and that's like one of the important things. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
um,
Which
and
some people
then
do, which is like fine and that's their thing, but it just happens to not be something I really like to do, I guess.
yeah, like it's find the audience and the content creator that matches your needs, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
that's something you wanted to, and I get it, like the struggle point for me is there are a lot of people that want to play with me,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not in my key. They understand
Yeah.
that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's hard. And then also like I actually originally helped a lot of carry streamers. That's kind of where I discovered WoW streaming. I
Mm.
wasn't a huge stream viewer, in fact. I just one of my teammates in BFA became a carry streamer. So
Oh,
then I was
okay.
helping him out, and then I met some other people. And then, in fact, my very first Twitch stream was to make fun of that friend because he never had webcam on. So I
Okay.
decided to stream to Twitch one day with my webcam on
Uh-huh.
and make fun, be like, "Hey, look how easy it is to do." Yada yada yada. And then he rated me that night, and so like I was already over the average view count for affiliate at that point. And
Nice.
then I spent like a year just streaming to like 5 to 10 viewers, not really
Mm-hmm.
doing anything to grow it. It was just like, okay, I'm gonna play the game. I might as well stream it. But yeah, so I had that background, and then over time, uh, what seems like normal gameplay to me, it turns out is not like normal gameplay to someone in a 12. Like they're
Yeah,
not
sure.
pulling like uh, it's not continual pulls in Cinderbrew, for example, until you pull the boss at 4 minutes into the dungeon. They're like
Mm-hmm.
pulling the boss at like 8 minutes into the dungeon. And that's fine because everything's got lower health pulls. So you're not
Right.
trying to do this huge time crunch. And then you go into a carry stream and you're like trying to help out and tank it. And you pull like 3 muscles, and then suddenly everyone's dead. And you're like, oh, that's not on them. That's on me. So I kind of moved away
Yeah.
from that.
Hmm.
But so I struggle with that too. It's like my viewers want to invite me to a lower key. And it's like, ooh, if I go, like, is it going to be successful for them? or is it going to be rougher on them?
Mm-hmm.
That's really the struggle that I kind of face. Versus there, not so many ask to be in keys with me. I look out. A lot of my viewers are people chilling in LFG, waiting for their next key. And
Yeah.
right, the higher you go, the longer the wait times. Really skilled players. So when I'm learning a class, a lot of them will speak up and tell me what I'm doing wrong, and
Mm,
so it makes it easier for me to learn a class.
that's good.
But
Yeah.
like even last night, I felt bad. I was trying to help Draz get a 19 rookery, and we plugged into a key. They didn't need a tank, so I was going to boomkin it. And then the healer said the tank was taking their dog for a walk. And I was like, oh man. And then it like dawned on me, this is probably a proc key. It's a 19 rookery. It's not like, oh, a couple tries were good. It's like I
Right.
am not it's going to take me like a couple tries alone to remember how to play Boomy because I play it
Right.
so
Right.
rarely. I was like, this would be an all night endeavor, and I don't have that time. So it was like just that trigger of them saying, well, next thing I know, they were someone that's in my chat regularly, and I felt really bad. It's like,
Oh
oh, like I
no.
wasn't. It's nothing against you. It's just I realized like we're probably gonna need to be here 4 to 5 hours, and I've already been streaming 8 hours. You're not gonna get the
Right.
best Boomy gameplay. I'm just gonna bring pain points for both of us.
Right. And especially
So
if you have time, if you only have time for a few tries and they're gonna keep going, now they have to replace you with someone that didn't just warm up 3 tries. And then
right,
it ends up hurting them in the long run if you don't have the time to commit to it. So I think that that was a good call on
yeah.
your part. I think you did right by them. But
Yeah, and that those are the kind of calls that I do have to make when someone wants to jump into those keys, and they're like, "I'm good for it, just no one's giving me a chance." It's like
yeah.
DPSing a 15 is completely different. Also, DPSing a 15 with a disc priest when I rarely run with disc priests is
Oh
completely
yeah.
different too,
It's
because
very
you
different.
suddenly don't have power word shield on you for every mechanic.
Even just like a key level or even the same key sometimes, like you feel the difference. Because I don't play with a
Yeah,
disc always. I mean, I just kind of play with whoever. But like even I was playing on my Destro lock the last couple of days, and we went from just random healers, or like our friend was playing Resto Shaman, and then the last key of the night we pugged with a Disc Priest, and I was like, wow, I'm taking like no damage because I track absorbs on the frames like everyone does, but like I'll check and see, and with my Dark Pact and a Power Word Shield, I'm like my whole fucking health bar is set. I almost shouldn't have pacted this. But it does make a big difference, and if you're used to that priest, and then you go to not having a priest, plus you add like a key level or two, it's like
yeah,
you feel it. You feel it a lot. You're like, why am I almost dead like all the time? I don't know.
yeah. When you get to certain key levels, I remember Necrotic Wake, for example, last season, we brought
Mm-hmm.
in a shaman, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
Bear, Mistweaver. I think it was Outlaw Rogan. We were trying to fill the last spot,
Mm-hmm.
and the shaman's like, "Hey, if you don't get a rep Howie, I can step out." It's like, because I can't live.
Gonna rip. Oh
Because
wow, yeah.
there's two fights they can't live without Blessing and Sacrifice. It's the first boss,
That
because
yeah
Blessing and
yeah.
Sacrifice stopped all the damage,
That immune
and
was
then it was
insane. Yeah,
and
I
then it
love
was
that.
the second mini boss in the Gauntlet, Rotspiel. And so this shaman's like, "I'll
Oh
just
yep.
step out so you guys can time the key." And we're like, "No, we're good, we're fine."
He just
It
dies.
he was like, he was positive, no, because it was a different Mistweaver I ran with last season. But like at one point in the run, you could hear us calm like, or the Mistweaver calm. He's like, "I'm gonna go stand on the Ellie Shaman now in case he gets another one because we're out of externals." And it was so that if it was targeted, he could just hit the shield from the actual dungeon to keep the Ellie Shaman alive.
Oh, that's huge.
We
Yeah.
we reserved every shield for the Ellie Shaman's survival, but not for the Ellie Shaman to cast it. It was for us to cast it on him.
Right.
So like we
That's
had to game
cool.
it differently.
I was wondering where you're
Uh,
going with that stand on the Ellie Shaman. I was like, is it split like soak damage or something? That's crazy. The actual shield. That's
yeah.
good. I mean,
So
that's smart.
yeah, and so like you get with those players that understand like, hey, I don't have a disc priest for a shield here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to use defensives versus other players that just kind of don't realize how dangerous something is because they're always used to the Oracle shield that is like a
Yeah.
30% of their health bar for everything. Like
It's
static pulse
crazy.
on the first boss in Motherload destroys people
Yep.
without a disc shield. And like even when I did it on a 17 on my Boomy and I had like a Resto Shaman, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm just gonna stand in their healing rain for the 10% healing buff because I track
Sure.
downpour. I'm
Yeah.
like, if I have it, I don't bear for him. If I don't have it, I bear for him.
Oh
And
shit.
that because was the difference. But it's still
Yeah.
pretty sketchy. And I was dropping down to like 5% health left. And like some
Right.
players don't process like, oh, I need to be in the healing rain because that's how they give me the 10% health buff.
Yep.
And
Because
so
you get
they
that,
won't
plus
even
you
be in
get
that.
the ancestral vigor just from like Riptide or Chain Heal healing. So you give people like 20% max HP,
Yeah.
which is like wild.
People don't track that though.
It's worth tracking. Yeah, I actually, you know what's funny? I don't track it on myself. I track it when I'm healing on Resto Shaman. So I actually don't play with shamans enough, and I don't play one shot keys. So that is something I would track though if I was pushing. That's huge. Like 20%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like better than Rallying Cry. I mean, Rallying Cry is kind of a joke, but that's a 3-minute cooldown. You know, that's definitely worth
Right.
tracking. That's smart. I actually should add that now that I think about it.
Yeah, I have a
little
weak aura that
external.
tracks externals,
Mm-hmm.
and that weak aura doesn't track it either.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that makes sense.
I have my own custom health bar, and right above it, it tracks ancestral vigor and
That's
downpour.
good. Yeah,
But
it reminds me of the.
Shaman.
Oh yeah.
I ran
you
with
play with
Resto
the-
Shamans last season. So last season I was actually haste mastering because mastery increases bear max health.
Yeah.
And then
Oh my god, you doubled. Yep.
yes. So there was a lot of times like City of Threads, the first boss was notorious for just murdering tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was my solution to pushing City of Threads was to have high mastery with Resto Shamans that I didn't need an external.
That's wild. That's smart too. And then what's funny is if someone like sees your build or whatever, they might be like, just play that in other stuff, but they don't realize what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
There's some intention there.
I even had the cursed mastery enchant on the rings because it was minus crit strike plus mastery.
Nice.
I was like, it enables me to play more with the rest of shamans, but it was like 8k DPS loss, which sucked.
Yeah. I don't play at like a high enough level where I care about my damage on my bear, but yeah, it felt bad. I mean, maybe they should do something with Maul. Like, I don't want to press Maul, but it sucks that there's really nothing that you could do on single target different other than prioritize Mangle a little bit more. But I feel like you always press it in single target anyway, or all the time when it's like up, right?
But, like, there's two problems with Maul. It eats a GCD, and it eats Rage, so you're not casting Iron.
Yeah.
So Maul has to outweigh whatever else you would have pushed during it, plus the Iron for damage.
Right.
So currently,
From
Maul
the
does not
Thorns of
outweigh
Iron thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So right now, Maul does not outweigh Moonfire plus Thorns of Iron.
Right.
And so that's where
because Fur's not even on the GCD, so you have to add the Moonfire with it because that's what you're doing with the GCD. Yeah, true.
And so they really just have to buff its damage, or even give it like, yes, they'll have to buff its damage to make up for the GCD loss, but also it have to have some kind of tankiness component, right? Because eventually, at a certain key level, you can't afford to lose an Iron for to catch them, even on bosses, right? Rookery, for example, you can do it during the burn phase, but as soon as the boss comes out of the burn phase, you need to have like 2 stacks of Iron for backup, which means you stop casting Maul 4 to 5 seconds before that phase.
Right, because you got a pool. Damn. Yeah, they could do something with it, make it better. That's a bummer. I have a few more questions, so dig into those. Oh, I also wanted to ask you, have you ever gotten in trouble for, like, you know, in LFG when people put their stream name in there, do you ever get like, not like banned obviously, but do you get like silenced or anything? Because I've heard of that happening, so I'm always afraid.
I did get banned.
Oh shit!
So when I decided to start growing my stream, it wasn't very common for people to do that, and I think it's become more mainstream.
It has.
And I decided that was like the easiest way to advertise, and I put twitch.tv/Dalgroth1 in the LFG, and like a week later, I got a 1-day ban.
Oh, okay.
And it was for that, and I appealed it like twice, I want to say, and both times they're like, no, like you were advertising a web page, it's against TOS. So yeah, initially I did, and then as soon as I just switched to streamed run Dalgroth1 and just relied on people like using Google or whatever, I haven't had any issues since then.
Okay.
And in fact, I've warned a lot of people when I'm like looking at LFG and I see twitch.tv in there, I'll be like, hey, dude, remove that. And it's like, I don't know if they know who I am or anything. They might just think I'm some kind of weirdo. It's like, I'm like telling you as someone who's gone through the pain point of getting the like 1-day ban, which I know they've since changed it to like a 7-day silence.
Yes.
Like
I know. I think that happened to Meeks, maybe. I think it was Meeks. Someone I know got like a week silence where they couldn't list their key or They'd have to like have someone
No,
list it and then join as the fifth at the end.
happened to Zath, I think, if I remember right too.
Oh, it did. Okay, maybe it was Zap then. I forget. Sorry, Meeks, if that was a lie. Um, but yeah, because it is good. Like I think that might be how I found you, or maybe my friend told me about your stream, but he found you through there. I forget. It was in Dragonflight. Actually, I have a very funny story that's kind of embarrassing, so I'll tell it. It's not even on my list. I was like, I should talk about this. So I did a key with you. I think I had you added on BNet, and I did a key with you in Dragonflight, and then I was playing Og, and I like wasn't the best Og, but like I don't know, whatever. Sometimes I was okay, but sometimes I would fuck up. And I like we bricked the key, and you like went through the log on the stream, and I became like so embarrassed because I think I Zephyred like one time. You're like, he Zephyred one time. His Ebonite isn't very good or whatever, and it was all like true and real. I don't think you weren't like trying to be a dick or anything, but I got like so embarrassed. I was like, I have to unfriend this guy, disappear. No one will know I was in
Oh
here,
man.
and I know that that wasn't your intention at all. That's literally just me having like a fucked up brain, but it is a very funny origin story for how I met you. It was in a LFG. I think it was a Dawn of the Infinites. I forget which one, but I was like, I still am, but I tend to be very like insecure about things, and I'm just like, no, I need to disappear. I won't play with this guy again.
That's not just a you thing though.
Yeah.
Because like in Dragonflight, I looked at logs a lot more and would discuss things with people in chat. Like they'd like, so how do you know that if that person did well or whatnot? And like, okay, we can go in and kind of see what they did, where they had room for improvement,
Yeah.
and then you find out like, well, you're helping like some viewers understand what you'd look for in a good Augie, because that was really common in Dragonflight. It was like, how do
For
you know
sure.
if the Augie you're going to invite's really good? And it's like,
Mhm.
well, here's the indicators that you look for.
Yeah.
Like you realize like if someone's watching or someone's friend is watching and you're looking at their log and you're like, so you can see they're short on this or that. It really does affect their mood and like
Yeah, I
approach to
mean,
even joining keys when they find out like, oh, people are actually checking my logs to join a 17. I might not want to go
oh
to
yeah,
17s now. So like I've
that makes
stepped away
sense.
from that. When people
Well,
do want coaching, I'll look at their
mhm.
logs with them. Logs are very like they're not anecdotal. They're very factual.
Mhm.
It doesn't exactly always tell you the specific situation, but you can kind of see when you're underplaying. Like one of the most common things I see is bears will cast Lunar Beam like twice every I'll say like minute and a half. When in
Mm.
truth you should be able to cast it 2 to 2.5 times every minute.
Right.
And so like on a log, it's if you're watching the VOD, they'll be like, oh, this is why I didn't cast it here. This is why I didn't cast it here. And it's like all of those little decisions of not casting it in those situations, you're losing like a lunar beam every minute because you're making those micro decisions. That
Yeah.
you need to correct that micro decision, figure out what you're going to do in that situation instead of saving lunar beam, so you have
Mhm.
more lunar beam time.
And maybe
So
you, because you're holding lunar beam, you drop lower than, even though you might not die, like you drop lower than expected, and then your healer panics and they pain sup you, and then they don't. Then now they're out of a pain sup, which is a really valuable long cooldown, versus you being like, I want to save my lunar beam for 20 more seconds or whatever. And so
right,
like, even though it someone might be like, oh well, it's not a big deal, it's just like the lunar beam, but it things like that kind of, if you don't use your like first layer of defense resources, then someone might use like a really expensive one, and then someone on the next pull needs it for a debuff, and it like it all adds up for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that
don't
one
think it's
specifically
bad
too.
to. Hmm.
That one is a good one too, because if you just look at the logs and people are trying to correct their casts on it,
Hmm.
sometimes they'll cast it when you're down to like one mob with like 10 million health left on it, so it's going to last like 3 seconds, and
Yeah.
then they go into the next bot pool and they don't have winter beam, and those people usually struggle with threat because now they don't have the 30% extra attack power on
Hmm.
pull, and like
I
one of
actually
the
didn't
things that
know about
catches.
the attack power. Is that just from mastery?
Yes, it's so
Oh.
everything hits 30% harder. It actually hits a little bit more than 30% harder. When I've looked in logs, like you can actually go to
Hmm.
logs and sort damage outside of Winter Beam, damage during Winter Beam. I think it's just because of when the math steps calculate in. Mastery is always the base. Like attack power is always what everything starts at, and then verse and everything factors in after the fact. Uh,
Oh.
but it should just be 30%. But like every time I've looked at the math, it's slightly over.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, so like some people have even noticed on certain pulls I drop Winterbeam and nothing's getting hit by them because for the gather I want the extra attack power so the first pack gets hit by a stronger Thrash, and then I just do the
Oh,
gather. Yeah, because
because it stays on you regardless of if you're in the beam, right? Like I've noticed the buff
correct.
will stay. Because in the
Yes,
beginning I was like, oh, I got to get back to my lunar beam, which I guess is good for the actual lunar beam damage, but the buff itself, you're
right.
saying, yeah, probably more
Yeah, so
important.
Lunar Beam's roughly 10% of your damage. So
Mm-hmm.
you lose 10% of the damage, but during the gather, you suddenly have every attack hitting 30% harder. So that initial thrash is like 1.5 thrashes almost, just because the bleed's also going to be ticking out during that time
Yeah,
uh, while
that's
you're doing the
huge.
gather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really big. That's good to know. I'm probably
yeah,
done
just
tanking for the season, but if I do, this is all good. And if Lunar Bear's still what you do next season, then that's good. I usually play Bear's like my comfort tank. I've played it on and off throughout the years. Like I don't know. I'm kind of it's like this meme with me and my friends that like if we have to wait more than 2 minutes to find a tank, I'll just fucking tank. It's fine. Like I can get away with it. We're not doing like crazy high keys or anything. But I don't really love tanking all the time because I think when you fail as a tank, it like hurts in a different way because you're like, I died and now everyone else is dying in the next 5 seconds. Whereas like if you die to something as a
yeah.
DPS, like it's like okay, we could res you or you just run back and okay, your cooldowns you wasted whatever. But like when you die as a tank, it feels like you just like killed the vibe for everyone sometimes. Unless they're okay with it, like they know that you're just learning and it's not your main spec, then like usually friends are chill. But I don't know. Failing as a tank feels different. So I don't love doing it all the time or in like really hard keys. I think in like difficult keys, I prefer healing or DPS. And then like a key level below or like 2 key levels below, whatever my like difficulty level is, I'm usually comfortable tanking on bear or sometimes
Well,
prop paladin, but not
dying
this
as a
season.
tank is like very much the runs over,
Right, right.
especially
You
in
just
push
pull
keys.
the plug for all your
Like,
friends.
but if a DPS dies, the run might be over. You just don't know it
Yeah, yeah,
because you're gonna end up out of time.
yeah.
And I remember when I was doing the 19 Priory, it was a Rizilki. One of my friends had a Rizilki
Mm-hmm.
for the first 19 Priory. So we did not take it as probably serious as we should have. We just weren't in Discord or anything. Like it was just, we were YOLOing it.
The no
And
comms
then,
19 Priory.
yeah, I want to say on like the second try, we got all the way to the boss, but we were like a minute behind.
Okay.
And then we had like a few more tries where we were just behind timer again, like at the end. So
Hmm.
fine, and that's what was limiting us. That's the crazy part is we were like just losing on time. So eventually, I have a mythic bomb suit, and I switched that out with pacemaker.
Hmm.
And pacemaker is not my favorite trinket. Like I
It's
also have
just
the
like crit
tome.
procs, right?
It's higher damage, but crit
Okay.
is very minor for damage mitigation.
Mm-hmm.
It converts to dodge rate for bear, but dodging a melee is not truly a 1% mitigation because you're already mitigating it with physical armor, you're mitigating it with any other buttons you
Yeah.
have out. So like 1% dodge is not 1% mitigation. It comes out to something like 0.32%. So it's lower
Hmm.
value than verse if you actually look at what your mitigation would have done if you hadn't
Yeah.
dodged it. So I don't like crits. Like I like Rick Reverb's radio for haste or not. More winter beams, more thrash, more rage, more iron for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I throw on the pacemaker because it's the highest damage trinket I have. Uh, and then I forget what happened. I think we died in the paladin room on the try after, and then the very next one we were like a minute ahead of time and just finished it. And
Hell
so
yeah.
like it sucks because the bomb suit's like that safety blanket. Like okay, if I die, the run's over. Period. Especially at that key level. But if I've got like we're missing the damage check, and I already know
Mm-hmm.
as a bear I do less damage, I'm gonna throw on a damage trinket, try to make up for that. And it's like 200k overall damage
Wow.
over the course of a dungeon just to switch from a bomb suit to a pacemaker. And
Damn.
so like it's like that's really what we just needed. It was more tank damage. It's not like
Hmm.
DPS needed to do more damage. But up until those tries, it's like, man, that first boss is really evil. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
wear the bomb suit. And then the healer was like, I didn't even notice you switched off the trinket. Like, that's
Oh no.
crazy. As a disc priest, he didn't even notice that I was not having the shields anymore or anything.
Damn. I actually don't even. I don't raid, so I don't have any raid trinkets. So I actually always play the pacemaker, but again, I've only tanked like 15, so I wouldn't really the decision wouldn't really matter that much at that level, I guess. But I play that and the floodgate on use shield. It's like a mud
The
thing.
mud.
I like that. That button's cool. But what is the bomb suit? It's like a DR? I thought it did damage too. Or is that something else?
Uh-oh. I
Oh.
suddenly don't have audio.
Oh no. Hmm.
And it sounds like it's on my side.
Okay.
Or it doesn't sound like it's on my side.
I can hear you. Hmm.
All
I
right.
don't have audio.
My computer updates drivers every now and then. It
Okay.
just updated the audio driver. You are back now.
Oh, I'm back? Sick. All right. That was fast.
Yeah. No, I tested like 4 other things to see if I had any audio. So when I said I don't have audio, yeah. I had audio across nothing.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad it was quick. That's good.
Yeah, it was just
I
updating the
forgot what
driver.
I was
I don't know
saying.
why it does that.
It's like in the middle of podcast, we'll do the audio. It's like send it.
And
What was I say? Oh, so the trinket, the bomb suit, is that what does that do? It's like verse or a shield or a DR?
it's
I've never
haste
used
with a
one.
large shield.
Oh, okay. And haste
But
is
it
kind of
doesn't
nice.
get ticked down by dot. Right. So the haste is
Mm.
nice. So it's less of a damage loss than the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the mythic version versus I never bought the mythic mud. But like I lucked out early on in the season, I got the Tome of Light's Devotion on Myth Track
Nice.
from my vault. It just does not perform on bear like it did for everyone else. So I ended up scrapping that. I got Rick Reaver with Avoidance. I got the Pacemaker, like all these from either the vault or runs.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got from my vault an Eye of Kazan with speed. And because of the speed, I pretty much wear that constantly.
That's actually a really funny combo. To have speed on the eye of because it's like go pull the next one now. That's so funny.
So that speed enabled me to drop the Druid movement speed, or
Right,
not the
okay.
Druid one, but the gem for movement speed, and I
Okay.
threw that in for crit damage. So like
Oh, nice.
even if I lose the Kazans, like it builds up for most of the fights I want to on, which is boss fights. So
Mhm.
typically for a boss fight, I can try to have 20 stacks of it, which again, right, that's going to help with the boss damage. I'm not so much worried about the AoE damage, so I don't care about it on the trash pools. Because Bear's weak point is prio and boss damage. So the Kazan seems to work pretty well for me, but I'm not going to lie, I do try to game it a little bit to keep it active.
Yeah.
It was good motivation to stop doing the parasol skip and just like do the running and jumping off the edge and rookery so that
okay. Sure.
I have 20 stacks throughout those pools.
Hmm.
But yeah, so now I run Pacemaker with the Kazans just for damage throughput.
Nice.
Even in all my testing with the Tome on Rookery or the Tome on Big Mama, it really wasn't worth it. I know there's some bears that run it, but for me, the loss of the constant agility there versus like the Pacemaker doesn't make it worth it.
I've never played Eye of Kazan, but I have. Actually, the only person I played with that used it was my friend who plays Evoker, and he was playing Og. And I wish I clipped it because this was fucking hilarious. But he was like, we were doing a floodgate, and he's like, "My Eye of Kazan, my Eye of Kazan." He's like yelling. So the tank pulls like some random mob, and then we're like, "Wait, we can't drag this on the boss." I think it was like a harpooner pack, like 3 harpooners. I'm like, why are we fighting 3 what is the Og Eye of Kazan pull? Like we're adding like fucking 40 seconds to the dungeon for the Og Kazan. We're all just cracking up. It's so fucking dumb. It's like, my Kazan. I'm like, fuck that. Take that trinket off. You're not allowed in the key.
Yeah,
I mean, it might be good. I don't know if it's good, but like, yeah, for sure, it's good. But
They
again,
game
like,
it.
me and my friends, we don't do like keys like that. You know, we're just trying to do like a 14 floodgate on alts or whatever. It was just a funny moment.
In Floodgate, I definitely dragged some crabs through the lightning water next to the second pool. So going from the demo duo to Big Mama, there's that lightning pool in the middle, and I definitely pull crab through the middle of that.
Nice.
Just to keep it up.
That works. The crabs are okay. The triple harpooner as a Kazan extendo is like, I think not it, because you can't run from them because you have to kick them, and you don't want to be like out of range. They're gonna grip you and fucking put an insane dot.
Yeah,
I did that. One of the actually, you can cauterize it, and I've never felt so powerful on my Og than like when we run out of kicks. or stops, and one goes off, and I just insta cauterize them. They didn't even notice. They're like, "Why did I just get gripped?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I will say in Cinder Brew, that's probably the most dangerous one we've ever done with some homies. Is we were dragging one of the honey purveyors across the boss room,
Is
and
that the
we almost
volley
had
guy?
yeah,
What?
yeah. It started casting it, and no one was in range. We're like, oh, we
No.
forgot about that.
How long is the range?
We
Is it like infinite
we
range? The cast? Like, did
we
they
have
hit you
no
with
idea.
it?
The demon hunter, we had a havoc demon hunter. He dashed over and interrupted it.
Oh,
It
nice.
was
Okay,
it was funny. We were gaming the Kazan, and we're like, oh, we didn't think about that part.
that's funny.
But
Nice. Hold on. I got a couple more that I want to. A couple more questions I want to get. How do you feel about resilient keys?
I am not a fan of resilient keys. I've
Yeah.
not been a fan, and I know people are like, "Oh, it should be a key level higher." That like, there's several problems with it. One, it's removed a lot of the competitive aspect. Like M
Mhm.
plus is supposed to be a competitive environment. That's the
Yeah.
gist of it. But there's so many people now that are just like, I'm just gonna wait for my friends to get a resilient key, and they'll take me into the key, and we'll just prog it and send it for like 4 or 5 hours
Right.
until we get it right. Um, on the flip side, it has opened up more freedom with routing. Like,
Mm.
for example, the Priory that I did with Shadorak, we went through the route and changed it a few times to make it fit the comps that we had
Okay.
a little bit better, right? Versus
Shad plays what? Havoc?
Havoc, yeah.
Okay. I reckon I remember I don't
Yep.
know where I know him from, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's been a good homie for several seasons.
Okay. Probably
Because
then from your stream.
even when I mentioned earlier, like asking someone for feedback,
Mhm.
he was like my third run with him. I just asked him for feedback, and
Hmm.
he said something like, "You're doing really good, but there's like certain points where you could start preparing to move to the next pack, where it's only going to
Mhm.
save 15 seconds over the course of a dungeon, but it's 15 seconds."
Yeah, for
So
sure.
like he's a really good guy though, and so he had the priority. And so we just kind of adjusted it because we had Arcane Mage, Havoc Demon Hunter, I believe it was. So like two really heavy funnel classes.
Mhm.
So we adjusted the wrap bit to account for that. And you're not going to get that in a pug environment. And the other thing, part of the reason meta is meta, and it always interests me when people are like, oh, hey, uh, these classes, there will be more meta options next season. It's like there will never be more meta options because what happens is the current meta becomes meta and
Mhm.
all of the tech for those occur.
Yeah.
Like
Everything suddenly we're doing arcane funnel on every boss and
right,
stuff
and
like
people
that.
don't
Yeah.
understand like that's not what you're gonna do in like a group with no funnel, for example, or
Right.
like Cinder Brew double hobgoblin skip. I get asked all the time, like, how are we gonna skip it if we don't have Vengeance Sigma?
Mhm.
It's like, there's several ways to skip it. I have several different shorts on YouTube for different ways combo of like Bear and whatever can skip it. Like Bear can skip it with Priest because of Mind Soothe, and Root,
Yeah.
like you can Rop it, you can Shroud past it with Bear. Like
Hmm.
there's a whole bunch of ways because the issue is on that skip, the scientist threats the team. So
Okay.
as long as you keep the scientist from threatening the team, the Bear can just pull the Hobgoblins to the corner and run past as well. But like
Oh,
people
so you
don't
mind sued the scientist like the lead patrol and then he
uh,
won't combat the other people, or
yeah,
I'm not
so the
following.
most common one for me
Mhm.
The most common one for me is I just Ursula the scientist off to the side a bit, root it, and then I pull the
Oh.
hobgoblins to the corner, and the rogue just shrouds everyone past.
Okay.
Because
And then
well,
you
if
regular
everyone's in
meld.
shroud, the
Mhm.
scientist won't threat them, even though it's not with the hobgoblins. And
Gotcha.
then I just run past, and if no one's in combat with the explosive brew, it despawns
Okay.
because it still summons.
Yeah,
So yeah, like,
that
and then I
works.
just do the regular meld. We stealth into the boss room and go forward.
Hmm.
But like people aren't exposed to that, so they like when they're forming the group, they're like, "Oh, I've got a bear. I need to have a havoc demon cage."
Right.
It's like you don't,
Yeah,
right?
you could
Or like
sleepwalk it too. You could
hunter can hunter
the
can frost
sleepwalk
trap it.
will make the lead walk out and the hobgoblins will
Yeah,
follow him too. Yeah, there's always like creative ways of doing stuff, but you're right. It's funny, like they're like, "Oh, well, this is the solution." So it's the only
right.
solution. It's like, no, there's plenty of ways to CC mobs and meld, and yeah, there's always creative ways. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
we don't
and
have
so
the priest, so we're screwed." or
Yeah,
whatever.
so the meta kind of gets cemented in because it's the text shared, and
Hmm.
people suddenly think you can't do it if you're not the meta comp, or you
Right.
can't get around it. And so you just kind of run into that. So I don't think meta is going to fluctuate much, even if they balance classes a ton, because
Hmm.
in the end, it's like what tech gets trickled down to the masses.
That makes sense.
Man, I
Yeah,
forgot
something
how we got on that topic.
we're talking about resilient keys, custom routing
Oh,
with
yeah.
Shad.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're just not going to get like resilient. You still don't get to enjoy the custom routing, right? For most
Hmm.
pugs, which is where it really should help the most. There's just not a lot of the negatives that came with it, people like to ignore, right? It also makes it very socially awkward for a lot of people. Like a lot of
Hmm.
people don't want to remove someone from a resilient key. Or if you're the person
Right.
that's removed from that key as you're progging it, you're like, oh man, this feels really bad.
Hmm.
So like it removes the competitive edge. It really does make some people feel terrible. Uh,
Yeah.
like
I talked
I'll be
about this.
honest,
Uh-huh.
I've scrapped entire five mans where we were trying to prog it and waited like half an hour to game again because it was like I don't want to tell anyone like you're just not cutting it or like the combination of us is not cutting it, but like we're gonna spend all night progging this key until we have all the stars align.
Exactly. You don't want to like feel obligated to keep slamming your head into it until like you just high roll that this person doesn't get targeted by the third mechanic on this thing, or
Right.
someone accidentally kicks the pack. Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like the system. I was talking to Terrasan about it yesterday on the episode, and it's like the system is beautiful for a 5 stack that's all progging together at the same time. And I think that's kind of what it's intended for, and that's I think what most people interacted. Maybe actually, probably not most, but like when I went into the season, I was like, I just want to do all 15s, and then there was 2 weeks where I was playing with a group of friends pretty consistently, and maybe we'd pug one, but normally it was 5 of us, and so we're all like result 13, result 14, result 15, and it was awesome because every time you moved up, all of our keys now our floor is going higher, and that's like perfect.
Right.
And then what starts to happen, not so much to me, but with a lot of other people, um, they have like result 20s, and then everyone is like forming a line to be like, can I get into that 20 priory? And then that person who's already progged that key and put in all this work when it wasn't even resilient now feels like socially guilty a little bit. And I don't know. He didn't say that this was his situation, but I'm just kind of like assuming there are people out there like this that are like they have these resilient keys, and then they want to give it to their friends, but it's like, do you really want to spend 8 hours of your life doing
Right.
a key that you've already done just because you can? Technically, you if you wanted to, you could spend 8 hours in Priory to help your friend get one key, and it's like not everyone wants to. I think most people don't
Yeah.
want to. But it does feel good, I guess, to help your friends out. Obviously, you can kind of hold the door open for them on your way up, but there are some downsides for sure. Mostly on the higher end, I think, though.
I think Priory is like a perfect example. No one wants to
Hmm.
spend time in Priory.
Right.
Right. Or like I was having a discussion with the trade warrior I play with, and it was like, what 19s do we actually want to set? Because by default, everyone's like, oh, you want to push DFC and Motherhood. But if you push a DFC 19, you can't roll a 20 DFC, right?
Right.
You're trying
Sure.
to the
Yeah.
20s you're going to time, right? Like, in theory, if like all the hard dungeons were relatively equal, you'd kind of want to just push every 19 Priory to a
Hmm.
20 because then it can't roll Priory.
Right. Actually, yeah, that would be the best 19
And
to run
so
then.
we're really good at Cinder Brew. So I was like, we probably want to push 19 Cinder Brew. The
Hmm.
downside is we're really good at Cinder Brew. That's probably going to be one of our 20s. We're not
Yeah.
going to get Cinder Brew, but once we get Motherwoad and DFC out of the way on 20, we can start pushing those on 19 to try to get the Cinder Brew.
Hmm.
But like, so you got to kind of like decide on that too. Versus, like, I don't think anyone's out there like, oh, I'm Brazil 20. Let's just go hang out in Pyre 20 all the time.
Right. Right.
Right. So like that's the downside to it. Is like no one wants to do those keys. Like what you're farming on Brazil usually in pug environment, where you're hoping a friend will give you as a handout, is not the fun dungeons. It's the dungeons no one wants to be in. So right, your friend progging it for 6 hours is kind of
Yeah.
like
It's
you're
rough.
torturing them, and they're just trying to be a good friend at that point.
Yeah. Which I think some people like. And honestly, because I only have Resil 15s, 15s aren't that bad where like if someone's only done a 13, they could pretty much always do the 15. It's mostly just they haven't like been playing that much. So it's like I've never like I've helped people with Resil keys, but it's only ever taken like 3 or 4 tries. It's not like a huge day long project, so I haven't like suffered that much because of it. Um, yeah, it's hard though because I feel like it's such a small percent of the key players that are in like kind of your situation in Terrasant's seat where it's like you have this really really hard resilient key. So I don't know what they do. I honestly I had an idea recently that's like whatever the top key in the world is, it should be resilient up until like 3 key levels or a couple key levels of that range. So it's like I think the highest right now is 22. So it's like Resil 20s could be the cap or 19s or whatever makes sense. Or maybe even for title range. I don't know what title is right now, but it feels really bad that I feel like a large percentage of the people that get title are going to be doing it through resilient keys. And then I feel like it kind of doesn't really mean anything.
Absolutely. Like I said, it removes the competitive edge. So
Mm-hmm.
last season, I titled Bear and Prop Pally.
Yeah,
Like
that's sick.
once we were title safe on the Bear, I just swapped Prop Pally and pugged it. Right.
Oh, wow.
This season, it doesn't feel like there's any advantage to me having second tune on top. Like it doesn't add
Hmm.
any value. Like sure, I played that tune at that level, but what's going to happen is I get title on Bear, hopefully, right? And some people have 19 and 20 Resil keys, and I just plug into those on VDH, and I'm not doing anything versus last season. It was like I plugged into a title key on the VDH. I had to do it, right? Like I did a
Oh,
siege, and the siege was interesting because 2 people were in one Discord, 2 people were in a different Discord, and one wasn't even in voice with anyone. And it
hmm.
wasn't like the combos you'd expect. It was the priest with the Augie, the prop pally with the LE, and a warlock
Oh,
outfighter. That was our voice combo for this siege. That was my
huh.
title key on the prop pally,
Hmm.
and like that's what I would expect with Resil. Is like there's less desire to jump in voice on these keys because you don't need it because you can just keep sending
Right.
the key.
Because each
Versus like
attempt is
some
not
people,
precious in itself. You could just
right?
keep
And
sending and
like on
sending
the
and sending. Yeah.
like on the Priory, we sent it because it was real. We didn't worry about it because we had multiple streamers in there. We're like, we're just gonna do it. We can high roll it eventually,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So like it kind of loses value on that. But like yeah, so I did that on Siege. It was this weird combo of voices, and it like people were baffled that we didn't jump in voice with each other. Where versus it was Brazil, people were like okay, it kind of makes sense, right? But it also was an achievement to do it that way because it was we one shot the siege and we did it without voice. We did it without like me on a fairly fresh tank. Like I kept it geared all season. But like this season, it's like I'll just jump into Resil keys on my BDH to get title that way.
Hmm.
That doesn't feel as accomplished. And I think like people are taking warm and fuzzies away from resilient that they
Hmm.
shouldn't necessarily take away from it. Like a lot of people are now like, oh, this is my first time pushing above 3K idle. But
Hmm.
how much of that was enabled by resilient and what actually did you achieve on that? Like it's a competitive
Right.
environment. If you're in the top 1% before at 3.1K, I want to say, and now you're at 1% at 3.3, but it's mostly driven by resilient, like it, bigger number better, but not really, right?
Yeah.
Like it,
That's what I was joking with Terrasant yesterday, like how food has an organic sticker on it. Like your score should
yeah,
almost have like a resilient sticker on it, or the opposite. Like non-resilient would be like the organic version. Because it's hard to tell like if someone has the exact same score, was that an 8 hour Priory session, or are you playing with friends and you one shot all of these non-resilient keys? Those are two very different. And again, it's like I don't really care what other people do, but it is just weird that this season I feel like score is like not the same indication that it used to be. It's more of an
right.
indication of like how well connected. I'm not saying I don't know. This is coming off the wrong way. I don't mean this entirely like that or that everyone with high score is like getting carried. Obviously, a lot of people are just really good. But it just kind of feels weird that you can't tell. Like it used to just be if you have 400 more points than me, like I know that you're so much better than me. Versus now it's like
Right.
you might just have a couple of guildies that are really fucking sick and have a lot of time. And again, it's none of my business because they're not me and I'm doing my own thing, but it's just strange. It's never scores never felt that way in the past, so it's just a weird
Right.
change.
it's murkied the water of resilient or like competitiveness there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I helped some friends early on. I was decently high resilient early on, and I would just play Boomkin and let tanks get some practice in
Yeah,
higher keys,
that's
or
fun.
even yeah, but like one of them went from like a 12 to a 15,
Hmm.
right? And like it's you enable those players to do that. Yes, that's a nice advantage, and I don't risk anything on my part. But on the flip side, like right now, I'm sitting on a key. It's like I'm not going to send my key at a 20 with pugs, period, because my teammates can benefit from it.
Yeah,
But as soon as my key drops down to a 19, like it's resilient, so I'm just going to screw around with it until I push it again.
and
Like
it
I
almost
don't have
makes
to
more
carry about as
sense
much.
for you to
Right.
do it with pugs to get it back to a 20, even if it takes you
Right.
3 times as long, so that when your friends are around, you're like, all right, we got the 20, so let's go. Because
Right.
it used to
So
be the risk is that your friends log on and you now have a 17, and you're like, sorry guys, I tried to pug the homework key.
yeah. So now like pugs benefit from it, but again, it makes it a little bit less competitive. Like you're not inclined to find a team or figure anything out. The other
Hmm.
downside is if you're resilient 19 and you're a vengeance demon hunter, you can pug a meta comp very easily, and a meta
Yeah.
comp's probably going to pug you if you're a meta class even more because they want to push that resiliency
Right.
back up. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, you're an arcane mage that's only on 18s. I can take you versus like, oh, you're a marks hunter that's only 18s. I don't know how to play with you anyways, so I'm not going to take you. So
Yeah.
it helps cement meta even more versus like when I'm
Yeah.
pugging my 19s, I'm like, I'm a bear. No one knows how to play. We'll just take people that don't know how to play together.
Take
It's like,
whatever. Take the
whatever.
Havoc Demon Hunter.
We'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
That's funny. You said
So,
earlier, you said the Havoc Demon Hunter plus Arcane. I had been playing, when I was playing Bear, I have a friend that has played Arcane for like 5 years. So this is like his season. He's pretty hype. And then I have another friend that plays Havoc a lot, Dumpy, who asked the question earlier. And then we have a third DPS who plays Unholy DK. So when we all played together, the Unholy DK was living large, man. On every pull, he was like, this is the fucking best, because they're all doing like all the prio damage. He's just blowing up everything else. He was having the time of his life. But
well,
it
that's
was
what makes meta
actually,
work so well.
yeah. Well, it was weird though, because with Havoc and Arcane, you almost have too much prio. Like we tried a key with that comp instead of the Unholy. I was playing Og, and the prio mob died instantly, and then we just had like a bunch of extra mobs that we were fighting because it was Havoc and Arcane just lit it up, and then I'm just an Og. Like I guess my upheaval does AOE, but not like a Unholy, you know. So a little
Well,
too much prio sometimes.
yeah. So we had the advantage of, Bear Tank typically chains really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so like as soon as the prio mob was dead, it was like, that's fine. I can just pull in another prio mob.
Next pull,
Right?
yeah.
Suddenly white spawns are prios, paladins are prios. Like there's a lot of advantage to having that set up too. Again, you have to kind of
Mm-hmm.
prog like, here's the comp, here's what we're going to do instead. Because
Yeah.
yes, if you're just like most meta pools are just like you plant, you finish the pool, you
Mm-hmm.
don't really chain. Uh, like the Fizz comp in Cinderbrew, for example, the goal is to keep every pool at 5 mobs. Like
Mm.
if one mob dies, you try to replace that one mob so you're at 5 mobs. And
Oh,
but
yeah. That makes sense.
what's crazy, and I'm sure a lot of people don't realize, is we purposely avoid the yellow mobs. It's like when
Mm-hmm.
we're fighting
It's a
Chewy,
damage
right?
loss, time
Fury's capped at
loss.
5 targets, Outlaws capped at 8 targets, right? If I pull
Mm-hmm.
in 5 yellow mobs and a Pyromancer with 3 patrons and Chewy, we're losing damage on those yellow mobs that we need to have like cleave down the Pyromancers. Like people don't
Yeah.
realize like that's very intentional that I am not pulling those yellow mobs in.
Yep. I noticed that actually, you know the first boss of Mechagon, how there's that extra ad you can get if you hit him with the
Yep.
frontal? So the last couple of days I was trying Destro Lock, and my tank was pulling that. And then what happens is I have a passive talent that procs Havoc on another target. So
Yep.
my spenders hit 2. And then it started procking on that guy that doesn't matter. And I was like, oh
Yep.
shit, this is like a huge damage loss for me because that bolt is just wasted now. I don't remember what the rest of the comp was. I think overall it was a gain for everyone. But it's just
Yeah.
funny like how detailed this game is with all these little interactions and stuff where you'd be like, oh, that's funnel for this guy, but that's actually ruining my 2 target cleave on this guy. And I don't know. It's a really cool game. I love this M plus game, man. It's very fun.
Yeah. But those interactions again are what kind of solidifies meta, is because
Yeah.
if you're playing with a Destro Walk and oh man, I can't really think of who else gets punished at 3 targets. Like there's a few classes that really excel at 2 targets. Like
Hmm.
if you're playing that and you're just seeing the meta route and you're running the meta pull every time, that first boss is going to last forever,
Yeah.
every single time, and it's not going to feel good, right? Like so, then it just reinforces like, oh, Destro Walk's suddenly really bad, and it's like, no, you've just been pulling improperly for a Destro Walk. So
Hmm.
hook perception always is going to solidify a meta because Yoda, Kira, all the R1 players kind of show this is what you pull and how you pull it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I asked Ellesmere this when I had him on a while ago. If there was no streams and no like no one could see the leaderboards and see what other people are playing, like say it was just everyone was in their own bubble, do you think that the metas would form the same way? Because I feel like sometimes what happens is something's OP, and then you're like, okay, well, what goes good with that? Like especially with AUG back in the day, you'd be like, okay, well, 2 minute PI with the breath, and then what does good damage there, and then okay, what healer fits. So you kind of all like get slotted in. But he said everyone would just figure out the same comp, which I was like, oh, okay, I trust him. But in my head, I was like, this is a banger question here. I was thinking everyone would come out with like different stuff, kind of like how you see the Fizz comp now, doing
Yeah,
some high
well,
keys.
Bush has kind of shown that all along, right? Like his team's been very competitive
Mm-hmm.
the last few seasons since they've been in existence,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And they figured it out differently, and
Mm-hmm.
I do think you would see more of that versus uh, what you see. But I also think you'd probably see less pugging in those environments too, right? If everyone is in their own bubble, because
Oh, sure.
right, no one knows every class.
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
a lot of people kind of think everyone knows every class. It's like, no, sometimes you need the DPS to tell you, like, this hurts me, this helps me, be a little bit more vocal so I can change the route
Yeah.
versus like, oh, hey, we need to chain faster. Like, why, where do we need to chain faster? Why? Or we need to chain slower. Where do we need to chain slower and why?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, not like, oh, it feels bad. Okay, we got to do a lot of stuff that feels bad a lot of the time. Like snapping stuff onto the yes men in Cinderbrew. No one likes that, but you have to do it,
Yeah. I've seen that.
right?
I've never done it myself. But why
Yeah,
is that just for the time save?
it's for the time save, the funnel, or even just like
Oh,
if you
okay.
pulled them at a different time, you're going to probably lose 20 to 40 seconds. If you
Mm-hmm.
pull them on the yes men's such a long fight, and right, snapping those mobs on there is 8 targets max.
Hmm.
So again, even the target caps like uh, outlaw, right? 8 targets. That's right in it. Fury Warrior. Yes men, you can only kill one of them at a time.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you're not hitting the other 3 yes men.
As
And
long as you're
like
prioing it, and
eventually,
then towards the end of the pull, it'll be within your 5
right?
target window anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's purely no matter what comp you look at, it's a time save. How
Mm-hmm.
much of a time save? It's questionable. But if you snap them and you have mobs closer than the middle pack of the room, the scientist will cast its healing spell on something and not snap, and it will permanently not
Oh.
snap. Yeah.
Oh God.
So like you purposely have to move past halfway through the room. Whoever snaps them has to get past that halfway mark real fast. So it's really hard for the tank to snap them.
Oh, like outrange the mob so that
Yep.
there's nothing for it. Yeah. Okay.
So it'll snap on a melee versus start casting rejuve and stay down there. So like,
Damn.
it's all these annoying stuff. No one likes doing it because there's those caveats, right? Like no one wants to lose a key because a mob didn't snap. We once
Yeah.
had
Oh,
to
it's the
kill the
worst.
last boss. Like we didn't catch the purge was on the last boss. It stayed down there. Everything was dead. We were on the last boss.
Oh
The
no.
boss was down to like
Just healing.
75%, and it healed the boss back to 100%. And we're like,
No.
holy, yeah.
It's like
So
percent health based, I guess. The
yeah,
hot and not like based on the other guy. Hmm.
I have no idea. It healed it insanely, and like, so like there's always gonna be things you don't like doing, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the title range, right? You're being competitive. The more and more competitive you're trying to be, the more uncomfortable you have to be.
Right. For sure. All right. I know I've had you here for a while, so I got a couple freebie questions.
Okay.
What's your favorite snack? Do
My
you have a
favorite
favorite
snack.
snack?
Oh man.
Terrasant said goldfish. That one's pretty
I
good.
don't I've been munching lately on a lot of Texas barbecue flavored almonds.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I
those are
never heard
really
of
good.
that. That sounds good.
Blue Diamond makes them. They make really good flavored almonds. They're just, it's not a
Hmm.
healthy snack. No matter what anyone tells you, it's not a healthy snack. It's high fat, low protein, low carbs.
Yeah,
They,
I've had the blue diamond ones. They're good, but yeah, I just eat way too many of them for sure.
yeah, usually I
Uh,
don't keep snack food around. It's usually like protein bars.
that's good.
So,
Very
it's all
healthy, I
right.
guess.
Spec
That's
has some favorite.
better than chips.
Spec has some favorite protein bars. There's a cookie dough one that he'll come over here to like mug me for the last bite.
Oh really?
Yes.
My husband likes the protein bars. I don't like the way that they have like a feel to them, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't know. I can't get into it. It has like a weird taste and a feel. But sometimes
yeah.
I'll eat them. I'll eat them like medicine. Same thing with protein shakes. Like if he makes a protein shake, I'll just I take one. The whole thing is one sip, and I don't come up for air. I just like I'm drinking like I'm drinking medicine. Like it's fine. It doesn't have to
It's
taste good
just
though, right? It's just for the content, the
right.
contents of the drink.
It's what I do as a snack food though. To just like
Yeah,
I don't usually snack for unhealthy reasons. I snack
that's
because I'm
good,
hungry, and so I just buy the protein bars. I try to keep all the snack food out of the house.
dude. I was doing so good. I was like a year ago. I was like 250, and then I got down to 187, and then now I'm almost like 210 again. All in the course of a year.
That's, those
I
are
started I went to my old job. I'm a waiter at an Italian restaurant in New Jersey, and I just get
oh
so much free food and pizza. Like
yeah.
it's bad. We make our own bread there. It's like the best bread you've ever had in your life. I'm like shit. I gotta cut it out with the bread. But
That's
I don't know.
environmental sabotage.
Yeah, it's rough, man. And then they'll be like, "Oh, take this home." Like we were closed for a week. That's why I have all this time this week for doing 2 different podcasts and a bunch of late night streams. And so they were just like, everything we have to throw out. That can't be like put in the fridge for whatever.
Right.
So they sent me home with like, I have 2 uncooked pizza doughs in my fridge with the sauce and the cheese and
Oh,
everything. Like they gave me like a fucking tray of pasta. I'm like, bro, you're killing me. But I don't know. Weird tangent there.
first world
That's
problems.
yeah. I know. I have too much good food for free. Oh man, it feels so bad. I can't believe it. How can I go on like this? Yeah, I don't know. All right. So where can people find you? Dalgroth1 on Twitch and YouTube. Same thing on both.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
sick. And usually stream for. It's usually nighttime for me, unless. Are you? What time zone are you?
I am Mountain Standard Time.
Oh, okay.
So
So like
uh,
minus 1 or 2 hours for me, probably for EST. Right now it's
2 hours.
5:47.
2 hours. Yeah, it's 2 hours before
Okay,
you.
sick. All right.
But my start time's a little hit or miss sometimes.
I feel that.
I've been unemployed for a year and a half, got laid off, and
Okay.
just decided not to go back to the workforce until I have to.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
trying to make this streaming thing work. So I've actually been getting
Stream it up.
more active on YouTube as well because we're getting
Nice.
closer to that point where it's like, ah, man, do I have to go back into the workforce or can I grow the stream?
Yeah,
So I was like,
I
put
feel
more
that.
content on YouTube. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
so lately, just with events that have been going on in life, it's whenever I wake up, I kind of just
Mm-hmm.
get ready
I
and
feel
start
that.
streaming. But yeah, like the other day, yesterday, I slept for like 13 hours.
Nice.
And
A little hibernation there.
I missed raid start time. Fortunately, I was not in raid. I was just like, I've never had that happen before. I've never slept that late. And I was like, oh man. And they're like, we figured you were gonna miss it because you weren't streaming. Usually you're streaming.
Oh no. They just check Twitch. They're like, he's not live. He ain't coming. He's
Yeah,
sleeping.
that was it.
That's funny.
I do have a really good guild. Like I said, I have the bomb suit.
Yeah.
I am not a tank in raid, and they
Oh,
still like
okay.
the tanks were like, hey, we don't need it.
Do you
Like
play? What do you play? Feral or Boomy in raid or Gila?
both,
Both. Sick. I
not
actually
healer
don't
though.
raid. I haven't raided since I did like heroic in the first week of Shadowlands, and that's it. That's why I don't know. I kind of just accept every season. I'm just not gonna have the gear that everyone else will have, and I can't get
Yeah,
myth trinkets from that vendor. But it is what it is. I don't do crazy high content, but it's just not my
you don't
thing.
even need it in crazy high content, right? That's just
Yeah,
like
can make
what
it
people
work.
like to tell you, but a lot of people make it work. Someone was talking about it the other day about how they didn't like best in spots, and then out of like the top 10 of their spec, I want to say like three of them didn't have it and didn't have kills
Hmm.
at all, and then like another four of them had just 2 kills in Mythic, which
Hmm.
was literally one armed bandit and I think it was Galley. And I was like, what they do is they just sell keys and then they buy the kills so they could use the
Oh
dinar to
shit.
buy the 2 items. Yeah, and
Huh.
it's like it's and they're like, oh, that's such time investment. It's like, yeah, but so is raiding 6 hours a week versus you sell keys for 6 hours a
Yeah.
week for the first 2-3 weeks of a season. You'll easily pull in enough gold to afford those
Hmm.
kills so you can buy the gear that way.
That makes sense. I would say the only part that really hurt me, not even numerically, but just like mentally, is the Og legendary. I just never had it. And I
Yeah,
was like, damn. Like sometimes I'd join a group. I was playing with a group at the time, but sometimes I'd pug by myself, and people would inspect me and be like, "Lego?" I'm like, bro, it's like 1% damn. Like, shut up. Even if it was like 3%, who cares? Like, I don't know.
yeah. I remember I did
It
a
is what it
Halls of
is.
Atonement, and after the key, we realized the Augie didn't even have a second embellishment, and it was a title range key. They just
Halls
didn't
of
have two
Infusion,
embellishments.
maybe.
Or yeah, Halls of
I
Infusion.
mixed those
Sorry,
up
yeah.
yesterday too. That's weird. Hmm. Now I'm trying to think if I have embellishments on my tunes.
Well, we realized one of
If
the
it's like
doors
a
we
high
went with,
key, yeah, like you should have embellishments. Like, I mean, everyone should,
but
but it's
one of
kind
the
of
doors we've
awkward.
been running with recently didn't have his pants enchanted and is only running one embellishment.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's like yeah,
I
it
have
can be done.
one friend that calls me out whenever he's in my group. He inspects me and he'll let me know. So sometimes I'll intentionally, if I get something from the vault, I'll be like, I'm not gonna chant this until until Simp tells me I have to. And
Nice.
inevitably he'll tell me. But if it's a tune I care about, I'll enchant it right away. But I play a lot of alts, and it's like sometimes I'm just trying to open the vault. You know, I don't want to go buy a fucking enchant. But
Yeah.
yeah, if I was doing like title keys, absolutely, I'd get everything
Uh,
enchanted for sure.
I think people assume title's sweatier than it is. Because like
Yeah.
last season, my comp was Bear, Mistweaver, Outlaw, Fury, Unholy DK.
Okay.
We didn't have Lust, and we were all melee.
Oh,
Like I even posted like Raider IO at the
the
end of the
old drums
season
comp.
to Twitter. Yeah, and I remember I joined like a raid once, and someone was like, "Oh shit, it's Dalgroth." You know, I try to do vault keys, and people insist we need Lust. And he's like, "But I watch a title team that does it without Lust."
Yeah.
So like, but like if you try to convince people you can do it without Lust, they're like, "No, you're crazy. You need to have a Luster."
Yeah. No, I know. Even in like I was saying, like in like weekly keys and stuff. Because sometimes it'll be like 3 or 4 of us, and we need to pug one or two, and then they'll be like, "Oh, we really want to invite, this rogue. It looks really good, but then we don't have lust." I'm like, just fucking get the rogue. It's fine. I'd rather have like this OP rogue than some random mage that's like kind of qualified, but you know what I mean. It
Yeah,
doesn't really matter. Like, or get someone on their alt that has like a good main that isn't gonna like grief you. Um, Lust doesn't really matter that much because a lot of the time in the keys that I do, it's like you either completely fiesta deplete somewhere in the key, or you time the key and you almost two chests. Like it's I'm
right.
very rarely like down to the wire. Like, oh shit, we really needed that PI instead of the resto shaman or whatever. I think people take keys like a little too seriously sometimes in all levels, but especially like the medium range. I don't know.
I'd say
I
all
don't know.
levels.
People take
Like
it
even the
easy.
low keys. I've seen
Especially
people
the lower
spend
you
like
go, the
20.
crazier it is.
I've seen people spend like 20 minutes to fill a 7, and it's like, really?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Was that just because they're being picky or because no one was signing up? Because it's hard to list
being
low keys.
picky. People get pretty
Damn.
picky. People will be picky about item level.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, this
Dude,
is a 12. You're 660. No.
I was months ago. I logged on my VDH because I was like, maybe I'll gear this guy. because it was before I decided to play bear again. I was like, I like to try the meta specs just to see if it's something that I click with. I'm like, sweet, I'll play this. And if it's something I don't click with, then I'll try something else. But I always like to give it a shot. So I have like a 2 Cinder Brew on my Vengeance, and I'm like 600 item level or something. And multiple people left the group. Like they would come in, inspect me. One of them literally typed, "Sorry, but I need this timed," and then left the key for a +2. Like the lowest.
Yeah.
It's basically an M0, man. Like, come back, please. And then we 2-chested it, obviously, because it's a fucking 2. But it was just like the funniest thing to have someone inspect you and say, "Sorry, I need this +2 timer." Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is crazy. It happens at all key levels though, man. You're just gonna experience it everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. All right. On that note, I'm gonna let you go. I don't want to keep you too long, but this was fun. I enjoyed chatting with you.
It was fun.
It was good. I'll pop in your chat sometime and say what's up. Wait, you don't do any like PTR stuff, right? I might play PTR this week for like a night.
I have not been. I'm tempted to, just for this Druid of the Claw testing, because I don't know if Druid of the Claw is going to be tanky enough to live hierarchies.
Yeah.
So
I want to try Destro out to see if I like their tier set, because I'm kind of having fun, but I want to see what the tier set's like before I like decide to gear it fully for next season. But yeah, if you end up doing that, hit me up. And PTR is a lot more fun if you have people to play with.
Yes,
because a lot of time you queue up and then you get people that they're either like World First Raiders and Echo MDI competitors, like spaceship people, or they're like some random guy who doesn't have anything keybound. So it's like really hard to gauge. And then every key you reset with a new group, so it's hard to tell. But if you have like a few people in the group, it's a little easier to test. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'll let you go.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Catch
Dalgroth.
you next time.
We'll see you around.